Dr. Steve Marsh is joining us. He is in the business of building beautiful smiles. Doctor, how long have you been in the business?
Well, Joe, I've actually practiced for 45 years, 3 years as a resident in the Air Force and 42 in practice in Cleveland. I hope to continue for many more years.
Well, thank you for your service for our country, and thank you for putting so many smiles around the greater Cleveland area. My goodness.
My pleasure. Thanks, Joe.
Now, let me ask you this question here. Why did you choose the website name Cleveland Smiles? Because it's clevelandsmiles.com. Why Cleveland Smiles?
So I grew up in Cleveland. I still love Cleveland. I hope to live the rest of my life in Cleveland. And we do a lot of cosmetic dentistry, makeovers, that sort of thing, as well as regular work. But what name worked better than Cleveland Smiles? And I thought that really talks about what we do. And so we named our website that, and that's what we're known as.
It is very, very fitting. Now, I don't want to just go over the fact that you do cosmetic dentistry, but there's a lot entailed with that. And there's a lot of options out there when it comes to cosmetic dentistry.
It's really true, Joe. And so one of the things we do when we meet with people, we talk about options, different costs for different people, or investments we call it. We can do bonding, crowns, veneers, and we do whatever's appropriate for the patient. We guide them, if you will.
Right.
But again, it's very important to speak of the options so that they make the right decision, and one that they're comfortable with, and one that gives them the desired result.
Well, let's take a look at some of these results right now, some before and afters.
So our first patient is Marilyn, and she had a very gummy smile. And we see a lot of people with that complaint, even after braces. So we raised the tissue with the diode laser and then gave her 8 porcelain veneers to give her this beautiful smile. And she said it was life-changing for her.
Spectacular.
Our second patient, this is Tamara. So the teeth had turned over the years. She had worn some teeth down. They had chipped. The space had developed. And Joe, you mentioned bonding. We just reshaped the lowers and then bonded the uppers to give her that beautiful smile, close the space. It's something that'll last a long time because of some of the adjustments we made.
Very
and
good.
Thanks. So the third patient is Phyllis. I mentioned reshaping the lowers. That's all we did with Phyllis. In the upper, we did 4 porcelain veneers. We may do more in the future, but again, gave her an even smile and one that she's proud of, even when she doesn't have to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And our last patient is Sheila. So Sheila had that same gummy smile. She had been an athlete. She had worn down her teeth. We made the teeth longer by raising the tissue with gum contouring. Also gave her 10 porcelain veneers on the top, 10 on the bottom. You don't see that gummy smile, and she loves the way she looks, as does her husband and family.
You know, doctor, as I watch this, it's obvious the smile is definitely the focal point. It seems like that's where people go first. And it's so important to have a good smile.
Right. Even as we speak here, you see the smile, and now that masks are off a lot, we're able to see the smile. And I think when we meet people, and whether you're sitting across the dinner table with a spouse or a loved one, I think that's what we see, and it actually brings joy to the person who wears it and the person who's sitting with them.
Before we run out of time, you mentioned spouse and loved ones. Let's talk about your family. Let's talk about your team that works with you. You have some team members there in the office that have been there for years. 7
team members, an average of 30 years or 30 and a half years per person. So oftentimes when we're working on a patient, we say, with the 2 of us, we have 75 years of experience. I'm not sure you can get that very many places.
No doubt about it. Well, if you want that kind of experience and that kind of family attention, if you will, let Dr. Marsh and his team, his family, help you. Simply call him at 440-461-1003 or head to that wonderful website, clevelandsmiles.com. Doctor, thank you so much for spending a little time with us.
It's been my pleasure, Joe.